the number one most important skill that you have to harness as an individual is being articulate. Because if you're articulate, you're dangerous.
The best way to learn is by doing. Of course, theory and reading the technical things is very important, but it's also very important to learn by doing and apply what you're learning right away.
I felt like I was stuck, even though I was successful in the field that I've always dreamt of being in. What's up, you guys, and welcome to another episode of Adulting with Joyce Pring, where we will be talking about upskilling and really increasing your salary this 2025, even while you're still studying.
But before we get into that, if you're watching on Spotify, go ahead and follow the show and drop a rating.
If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and don't forget to tap the notification bell so you never miss an episode. And if you're on Facebook, make sure to follow my page, Joyce Pring, for updates and extra content. All right, let's get into it. The job market is really evolving fast, and it's essential to stay competitive. Now, one of the things that we've been talking about here on the podcast a lot is upskilling while studying, which can give you an edge and future-proof your career. This episode, of course, is brought to us by Mapúa Malayan Digital College, a modern digital-first college that helps students, including working professionals, build future-ready skills. And joining me today on the podcast is Kirsten from Mapúa. Hello, Kirsten.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here, adulting with you, Joyce Pring.
I know. When she came on the show kanina, when you came into the studio, you were like, I feel like I've adulted with you because we've been doing the podcast for 8 years.
Yeah, it's been really great to journey with you and also to learn from you.
Oh, I appreciate you for that. I feel like this is a full circle moment then because you will be the one teaching me more about upskilling. And we actually did some research on this already. You know, we did a lot of learning from, I guess, the digital space talaga is really where it's at, right? So the first thing that I thought of that could help a lot of our listeners and viewers is to learn new skills. But I wanted to ask you, what are these new skills that would be competitive and useful in the next few years? Because one of the things that is really bothering or worrying or talagang challenging a lot of people is the rise of AI. You know, they feel like, okay, it's become so competitive that we don't even know where to place ourselves. But learning new skills is always a great idea to be able to upskill yourself and earn a better salary. What are the most competitive ones that you could think of?
Actually, like what you said, the world is evolving so fast and we need to stay up to date with the skills that we know. So I want to share with you a recent study from the World Economic Forum on the future of jobs report in the next 5 years and even in the next 15 years. That actually stated the top skills that employers will be looking for in the future. And top of that list is actually analytical thinking. Being able to make decisions based out of data and being very critical with the way that you think, make decisions, make business moves, or even moves in your career. And then the next one that I can think of is AI and big data. Just like what you said a while ago about how some people may be scared of AI, but I think that we should actually embrace it. We should embrace.
It's an inevitable part of our future.
Inevitable. It's a
of
shift
our reality now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shift of the technologies that we use, right? So being able to embrace artificial intelligence and help us be more efficient and maximize the way that we work and the way that we think, I think that's very important. And paired with that is, of course, data analytics. As I said a while ago, making data-driven decisions. And in this age of technology, it's also very important to be literate in technology. So technological literacy. Nowadays, you don't need to be in the IT field to know technology. Actually,
and you don't need to be in the IT field to need understanding technology, right?
Exactly. So there are a lot of tools that you can actually use whatever industry you're in. Maybe you're into content creation, marketing, business, finance. You need to be literate in the technologies used in that. And along with that, there's also software development, network and cybersecurity. These things can sound scary, but it's actually what we need to know.
Yeah, that's true. And it's actually very easy to learn these things. Relatively easy. And why I say that is because ang daming available resources now online. I mean, with Mapúa Malayan Digital College, right? Everything is online. So there are a lot of online courses, online tutorials. Pero syempre, with that comes, I guess, the intentionality that you have, which is, are you getting information from legitimate sources, from legitimate, people who are actual experts on the field? Because now of social media, now it's kind of hard to be able to see that, right? Now, apart from the things that you said, because I'm in the field, I have to say, Kirsten, that digital marketing and social media is also one of those new skills that people just have to have. Like, whether you're a student, a business owner, diba, if you become an employee, one of the things that you can really do is to have that entrepreneurial mindset and, think about, okay, how can I exist in this digital space intentionally and maximize my potential for that particular field. And maybe whatever it is, like we see now, merong mga doctors, merong mga IT experts, all sorts of professionals in their particular field still working on digital marketing and social media and having that extra skill that sets them apart from other people.
Yes, exactly. And there are so many fields that you can learn online from through different ways. So, of course, there's online courses, there's podcasts. I learn a lot from your
Yes,
podcast,
thank you,
as you
thank you.
said a while ago. There's a lot of free and paid information online. Really, we're so blessed to be able to live in an age where this information is very accessible to us. And we don't have to go through all of these things just to learn.
I was listening to a lecture recently online, one of those free resources, and the professor was saying that the number one most important skill that you have to harness as an individual is being articulate. Because if you're articulate, you're dangerous in the sense that you're able to go into any field and negotiate, present yourself, market yourself. And I thought of that and I was like, that is so true. To be able to articulate your thoughts properly, to write them out, to speak them out. I feel like that's one of the most amazing skill sets that you can really focus on. And what we're talking about here is really that, right? It's really figuring out what are the skills that could make me a more dangerous asset in my particular field. So, whatever course you're taking in your college degree or whatever field you're currently at, to be able to identify those skill sets that will set you apart and make you dangerous is really the most important thing.
Yeah, I think that's very transferable to any industry that you're in. And just to add to that, I think as a something that's related to everything that we're going to talk about today is staying curious and lifelong learning. It's actually part of the skills that employers will be looking for in the future, being curious and being able to learn for a long time every day.
Yeah. I remember multiple stories of my mentors and, friends who have gone and become successful before I even was working. And one of the things that they always said was, meron ako mga trabaho na I wasn't even particularly good at that job, but there was a need in the company. It was offered to me, and they asked me if I was willing to learn new things, to go through training, to go through the rigorous 6 months, 1 year of being on the job while also training on the job. And I accepted it. And now this person is like the head of marketing for that company. And that person actually just started as an engineer dun sa company na yun. But because it was growing, they needed a marketing person. Wala sila marketing person. They were like, okay, this is perfect. We have an engineer that is also willing to study marketing. And I think that's what you're saying, diba? Na sometimes the best opportunities that is thrown at us in life are opportunities that we aren't necessarily ready for. But if we are willing to get ready for them, then it becomes opportunities that are really lifelong blessings for us, right?
Exactly. And you have to be able to um, n- know that it's never too late to learn and it's never too early to learn as well,
Yeah, this is true.
maybe when you're just starting in your career as well, it's very important to upskill. And what we do in Mapúa Malayan Digital College, or MMDC, is we really equip our learners with the skills that are needed for the modern workplace. Those skills that I've mentioned a while ago, and both soft skills and also technical skills. What we do is, I think, well, maybe you can also say what you think about this, but the best way to learn is by doing. It's Of course, theory and reading the technical things is very important, but it's also very important to learn by doing and apply what you're learning maybe right away. So, what we do at MMDC is actually we have no traditional quizzes or
Oh,
exams. Yeah. Our
wow.
students go through a learning model called the Projects, Problems, and Cases learning model. So it's very practical and very progressive. They create projects so that they have experience already in these skills. They solve problems, real world problems that happen in the industry, and also analyze cases that they're able to learn
Ah.
from. So it's very progressive, and we've seen that it's very um, it works for a lot of the students who study with us, because what they're learning at school, some of them say that they can apply it right away
Oh, that's good.
in their job.
And that's the kind of skill set that you need talaga, diba? Something that's applicable and actionable. Now, the first point that we talked about as we've been discussing is really learning new skills, right? It's upskilling, it's, thinking of ways that you can be more curious, more adaptable, and more, I guess, intuitive in the field that you're in. Now, the second thing that I wanted to talk about is really pursuing your college degree and still finishing that. I'll share with you something that I feel like a lot of people don't know, or at least they get surprised when they find out. I didn't really finish college. Yeah, because I had to work. So I come from, a family that unfortunately wasn't able to afford to put me through college, and I had to work immediately. And by God's grace, I was able to work in a field that I ended up getting quite good at, but it took a lot of years of practicing, working on the job, learning on the job, having great mentors that really helped me become the broadcaster, the host that I am today. But currently I'm working on my college degree.
Oh, you
Yes.
are.
So I have been doing this for the past few months, and it's something that for the last year pa lang ginagawa na namin, and it's something that I really wanted to pursue because even after 12 years in this industry, having had a career that I feel like is successful, something that's very fulfilling, it dawned on me that the college degree is so important because anytime that I wanted to, upskill in terms of getting a master's or do a specific online course material from a different university and things like that, I couldn't do it just because I didn't have
Like you
the
feel
undergrad.
stuck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I felt like I was stuck even though I was successful in the field that I've always dreamt of being in. So I wanted to put this in there, to get a college degree because I feel like whether you end up baking or doing the different thing that you didn't really study for, it's always good to have a college degree because it just opens up so many opportunities for you as an individual, especially as somebody who will go through different seasons of life.
I mean, definitely. Well, first, I just want to say congratulations to
Thank
you
you. Hopefully
for being
makagraduate na.
yeah, for being able to get this far also in your career and be so successful these past years. And now, congratulations for getting your college degree. I'm super
Not
happy
yet.
for you.
Almost there.
Working on your college
Working
degree
on
is
it,
already
working on
a
it.
big
We'll see.
thing. And actually, Joyce, there are a lot of Filipinos who have the same experience as you, kasi. It's very common for Filipinos to drop out of college because of one, financial concerns. Two, family. Family people prioritize their family, and also time constraints. People see that it's hard to balance both work and studies, but you are a living testament to show that it's never too late to get your college degree.
Yeah, it is.
And you're able to balance work and studies. I think a lot of people who who didn't get to finish their degree and who had like education had to take a back seat, they think that they're stuck, or maybe others, they can't get a promotion now, or they can't move forward in their career because they don't have a college degree. Well, I have some good news. It's never too late. Actually, what we do in MMDC is we're a 100% fully online and flexible college that is made for working students. So if you're working already, you can balance both your work and your studies. We made it in such a way that it's very um very flexible for you to be able to balance. So you have it's 100% fully online, and then you have minimal hours of synchronous classes per week.
Okay, so for those people,
7.5 hours.
7.5.
Yeah.
So for those people who don't know what synchronous and asynchronous is, can you explain that to us?
Okay, synchronous is when you are with your academic coach or with your professor in an online meeting. And then asynchronous is when you learn by yourself with the course materials.
And that's really good
Yeah, it's
because
a mix of both.
yeah, having a mix of both means that you will still have that experience of, working with other students and,
Yes.
having that fixed schedule with your academic coach. But at the same time, if you're very busy at work, you can actually learn at your own pace with regards to the other subjects. Tama ba?
Yes, exactly. And you're even able, for example, if your work schedule changes, you're able to change your class schedule based on your work schedule as well. So it's really a balance of both work and studies and family time. We have a lot of mommies who are going back to school.
Here we are,
after
the
giving
moms.
birth.
Get ready
The
for
moms.
us. We're dangerous.
Yes, dangerous and empowered women,
Yes.
right? Mommies and daddies who are going back to school after sending their kids to college or to school. We've seen that. Parents who are saying na, okay, it's my turn naman to get my college degree. We also have people who have been in the industry for such a long time, but yun nga, they feel stuck. They can't get promoted because of no college degree. And we also have people who are taking their second degrees.
Yes.
People who have already taken their college degrees before, but want to stay up to date with the latest technologies and the latest trends, in line with being curious and in line with being a lifelong learner. So it's really not too late to step up towards your dream career.
Yeah. MMDC has BSIT, right?
Yes.
Can you tell me more about that? Because I've always been curious what IT looks like now in 2025. Like, what do students really study? I mean, you don't obviously have to go through the curriculum, but for example, if you are a teacher and then
Yes.
you get a second degree, which is BSIT, why would you take that? And what does that teach you? How does that help you in your particular field?
So as we've been talking about, we're really living in the digital age, and it's very important to be literate in your technology. MMDC right now, we're offering our banner program of BS Information Technology, or IT, with a core focus in the application of tech in businesses. So it's tech and business. So we actually have two sets of programs. The first is the development focused programs that focus on building programs that businesses are able to use and to run for their efficiency. So under that, we have software development and network and cybersecurity.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's for the development focused program. And we also introduced a new business focused program, which talks about more on, the tools that you need to succeed in your businesses. So there's data analytics. There's marketing technology, like what we've been talking about kanina, that it's very important to be able to stay up to date with that, and entrepreneurship technology. So learning the IT and the back end and all of the tools for you to be able to maximize.
It's so interesting. The reason why I asked that is because I do feel like we live now in an age where you cannot escape technology. Like, there's no way that you can have a brick and mortar store or a business that doesn't require you to still deal with data analytics, to still deal with all of these other things. Like, now SEO is so important. And I would have never, like, even the people that I work with, halimbawa, whether you're a celebrity, a professional, a business owner, people always talk about information technology because it's just such a powerful and integral part of our world today. And so I think that's so interesting. You mentioned that you can get a second college degree, and it's very helpful. Whether or not you feel like you can apply it now, you will definitely apply it sometime in the near future. Like, if you're just starting out your business, you're like, this is absolutely nothing that I have to worry about at the moment, but it is a huge part of the world. I would say a majority part of the world that we live in now.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's very, what we teach our learners, our students, is very industry relevant. We work with industry professionals, and they ask top companies, what is it ba talaga that you need in your company, or what kind of skills, or what do you do in your company? And we put that into our curriculum.
Ay, ang galing.
Yeah.
So parang pwede siyang somehow personalized, right?
Yes, and very up to date with the trends in the industry. What they're learning is what's actually applied in the real world and in the modern work.
Can you tell me more about? I'm curious if there are any stories from students who are working or, who are already busy, who went through MMDC and their programs, and what are the changes that they've seen, or what are the I guess improvements that they've had in their own career paths?
Yeah, actually, well, first it gives them more confidence also. Maybe if you've been in the tech industry for many years, of course, like what I said a while ago, it's very important to learn by doing and learn on the job. But it's different also when you have the degree or um the degree to help back you up with that. So we have students who are, for example, I know one of our students, Nico, he's taking a BSIT degree in network and cybersecurity, and he was saying that there was one week na he was so stuck at a problem at work in coding, and he wasn't sure how to be able to solve it or answer it. And then he went through one of his synchronous classes with his academic coaches, and he was like, ayun pala, that's exactly the problem that I needed
Oh, that's
to
amazing.
solve. So yeah, it really shows your confidence and also being able to boost your credibility when it comes to the things that you know.
I was reading something a few weeks back where it said it was an article on how technology and the digital space has evolved in the past 10 years. And they were saying that it has evolved in the past 5 to 10 years more than it has evolved in the past 100 years or something like that. So the difference between how fast the changes are coming is gargantuan. And I feel like that's such an important thing to think about when we're talking about upskilling, learning new things, getting a college degree, because as a creative, personally, I used to not be interested in this. Like, I wasn't interested in IT and digital, in anything technology related at all. But the more that I got into this industry, the more that I got into my business, the more that I grew in this particular field, I was like, tama, kailangan talaga siya. It's really a skill that's needed. Now, okay, so we've talked about learning new skills. We've talked about getting your college degree or a second one at that, if you want to. Now, the third one that I wanted to talk about is to take short courses or micro credentials. Now, this is a thing, and it's so funny because I saw this happening in real time on LinkedIn, where people were adding micro credentials and the short courses that they take. Some of them are 1 to 2 days, others 3 weeks, others 6 months. But tell us more about short courses and micro credentials, what they are, and how can this help us in upskilling and increasing our salary in 2025?
So actually, we just talked about getting your college degree. But if you don't have the luxury of time or the budget to be able to get your full degree, I do recommend getting a micro credential or taking a short course. Because this is a way to get very specialized skills and knowledge. And just like you said, you can add it to your LinkedIn right away and
Yeah.
your CV right away. And that will prove to employers that you have the expertise and the knowledge in this certain topic. Maybe even if it was different from your college degree or in your past experience, it's very value adding to have these micro credentials in your CV or your resume.
So usually, how long do micro credentials last for? Like, you have this in MMDC, right? Yeah.
Actually, like what you said, it's very different with whatever short course you take. There's some that takes weeks, months, years even. But at MMDC, we have the program that's called our Career Leap Pad Certification Program. So this is for you to really leap in your career, and it's your gateway to more opportunities in your career. So this one, our certification programs, they span to, you can finish you can get a micro credential in around 3 to 4 months, and that costs around 9,000 pesos at an average.
Wow.
Yes.
That's so affordable.
Yeah, so what's different about MMDC's Career Leap Pad to other certification courses or online courses is that we create certain pathways for you. Mapúa, MMDC, we create pathways for you to be able to get the real skills and the knowledge that you need to land your job almost right away. So again, for those who don't have time or money for it, we really guide you throughout the whole process. I don't know if you've experienced this, but maybe if I go on an online platform and then I log in, I get so overwhelmed.
Because there's so many.
There's
You're
so many
right.
things you want to
Yeah.
learn, right?
Yeah.
So many things you want to learn. I
And
think
so many providers, like it's so confusing sometimes. It's the, what do you call this? Is the choice paradox. When you have too many choices, you feel like there's no particular good choice for me. So it's
Yeah.
different with MMDC.
So what we do is we create a pathway for you already to see.
How do you
okay,
create that?
where are we suggest courses to you? Yeah. So where are you in your career? Let's say in virtual assistants. Are you just getting started? Are you already a pro in it? Do you want to get to work already? Like what exactly is it that you need, and that we help guide you in that. So what our academics team did was they researched the most in-demand jobs of today, and that's what we're creating curated pathways for. So we just started with 3. The first would be virtual assistants.
Meron na? Totoo? Wow. How
Yeah.
long is that for?
You know, again, 3 to 4 months to get your micro credential, but you can also get mini certifications also along the way as well to be an accessory as well to the micro credential that you have in virtual assistants. So you know that it's very booming now.
Yeah,
Virtual
it is.
assistants, remote work, and being able to handle multiple clients at the same time. So that's something that we teach you through this pathway, through this program. And again, it really depends on if you're getting started, where are you in
Do you need
your
an undergrad for this?
No, you do not need an undergrad for this.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's one, our virtual assistance program. And then second, of course, what you were talking about a while ago, marketing. So we're very fortunate to be able to partner with industry leaders for this. So we have Meta social media marketing, Google digital marketing and e-commerce, and also Adobe content creation
Oh,
for the
wow.
creatives over there. So to be able to get micro credentials to prove that, you know, you have that skill to do that. And then lastly, technology, we have data analytics with IBM.
Oh, my manager's going to be watching this and she's going to be like, that's the one that everybody should be taking. Yeah.
Doesn't it make you want to take it also?
Yeah, it does. And you know what it is? There's something that happens to your confidence and to your level of being able to step into a room with presenting exactly who you are when you know that you've actually trained for specific skill sets. There's really something that happens, and that's why I agree with you so much that I love lifelong learning. This is why I love reading. This is why I love, you know, I took short courses before when I was still single. I did a lot of short courses. I did all of these things because not only do you learn new things, you get the certification, you get these credentials. It's not only that, it's really being able to show up in the world fully confident that you are constantly training yourself, constantly improving yourself, constantly becoming a better version of yourself, that wherever life takes you, whether you go into a company, you work for someone, or you build your own company, you have the confidence that I trained for this and I can keep adding to this training whether or not I feel like this fits my field now, kasi it will always be helpful. Like I took up philosophy in Oxford for a short course. And I thought at that time it was because I was having an existential crisis. But up until today, it's something that I'm able to use because of the way that I researched, the way that I was able to converse with my tutor at that time, and all of these other things. It changes your perspective on the world.
Yeah, and the way that you think.
Yeah. It opens up new opportunities. And that's why I feel so boldly about this particular thing.
Yeah, definitely. And it's really for a lot of the Filipino, it's what Filipinos need today. Maybe if you're a job seeker, like a fresh grad with no work experience yet, if you have a micro credential, your employers will see that and they will immediately think that you have a competitive edge. And then also for working professionals who want to get promoted and who want to stay ahead with the trends, as I said. And then third, also, it's perfect for people who want to shift in their careers. Yeah, this is an opportunity for people, for example, if you work in finance and then you want to get into digital marketing, operations, but you want to get into data analytics. This is your way to do that. It's a gateway to land better and more job opportunities.
And I think it's such a great encouragement also for a lot of students or a lot of professionals who are already working, that the price point isn't expensive. it's affordable for the quality of education that you'll be getting. Because today, really, I always say that the way that you're able to increase your salary is to be able to upskill talaga, 'di ba? And most people think that I can't upskill because it's too expensive. Diba? And okay, fine. You get these mga free online stuff, pero wala yung credentials, wala yung certification, right? But most companies that you're working for and most clients that you will be getting if you are a freelancer really look at the credentials. It's really something that's important to them. So hindi mo naman pwedeng sabihin na I got this from, of course, those are helpful, but you have to also operate in such a way na, okay, ano ba yung mga makakredit on a professional level for when I go into companies or when I get clients. And I think knowing that it's affordable, it's something that you can actually pay for even on top of your tuition fee if you're still studying, right? It's very encouraging kasi 'di ba yun yung number one discouragement ng maraming tao from upskilling.
Yeah, and we wanted to show also that it's accessible because it's fully online.
Yeah.
So, and you get a micro credential or even your degree from a Mapúa Malayan school, right?
Well respected, yeah.
Yeah, and because of this, we're able to reach many Filipinos, not just here in Manila, but in so many provinces from the north to the south. We're able to reach all of those Filipinos, and we want to encourage more Filipinos to upskill.
I have a question. Do you accept international students?
Right now, for our college degree, you need to be a Filipino citizen. Okay. You can be an OFW. We actually have some people who work in Europe or
I'm sure
the
because
States,
the Filipinos are all over the world. Yeah,
and they're able to take their college degrees. For the certification programs, we are exploring opening it up to international students.
I only ask because we have a lot of listeners from all over Asia here on the podcast, and we'd have sometimes they would comment, "Hello guys, yung mga nanonood dyan, di nyo ako maintindihan," from all over Asia. No, but we love them, and sometimes we do get messages from our listeners from around the world who they're very fascinated with Filipino culture. And so this is such a fascinating, tool for a lot of people. So hopefully that's something that MMDC can explore in the future. But wonderful to hear that it's really available to all Filipinos worldwide. Now, we talked about learning new skills, college degree, upskilling with micro-credentials and certifications. The next thing that I know will help people, especially young people, to upskill and to boost their salary in 2025 is to network. Networking and creating, I always say that your network is your net worth. And I don't mean that you have to have rich friends, influential friends, but you have to have people within your circle that will help elevate your professional life in the sense that they challenge you, they encourage you, they introduce you to other people who have the same, I guess, interests or who are in the same field. In your experience of work, how important is creating a good network of friends, professional colleagues, and things like that?
Actually, I was listening to your podcast recently with Juancho.
Oh, yeah?
And you were saying that who you are is so greatly dependent on the people that you surround yourself with.
Yes, that's true.
And you can say that the same in your career as well. Actually, just speaking from my experience, especially as a young professional, when I was looking for a job, it wasn't just about having a job that I like or having good pay or benefits or anything. It was about getting a good boss, a good mentor who can train you, who is able to really help you learn and to help you grow. Because imagine, especially if you're a young professional, this is the person who will show you the ropes of your career, right? And you'll be learning a lot from the work ethic of your boss and even your colleagues. So it's very important to surround yourself with those industry professionals who are very much willing to mentor you and are also very knowledgeable in the field that you want to get into.
Yeah, and that's the invaluable thing that you will get from a good mentor. And we always talk about this on the podcast, that the most important thing that you really have to think about is the relationship that you have with the people around you. And that goes the same way in your professional relationships. Because as you've mentioned, this is the person that will mentor you, that will teach you the ropes, that will help you, that will guide you on how to go about this business. Like some of the best business ideas and lessons that I've ever learned are from women who were more successful than I was when I was starting out, and who weren't exactly like, they weren't exactly hosts, they weren't exactly TV presenters or broadcasters, but because they were in the industry and they were there for decades before me, and dami nilang naturo sa akin that are so valuable, and you can't put a price tag on that, right? So having that network, having that boss, having that mentor, having those even friends, colleagues in your workplace that really value those insights, diba? That's very important. But okay, paano naman yung mga, Kirsten, paano naman yung mga introverts? Or hindi nila alam how do, and this is very true for a lot of young people. Let's be honest, we can say this now, guys, because we're a little older. We've been working for a while now, but we also were once maybe fresh out of college.
Yeah, lost girls.
Lost girls, just starting out in the industry.
Exactly.
We had no idea what we were doing. We were just there. We were showing up, doing the work every single day. How do you then build up a good network in your work? Let's say they're working already, right? Or let's say they're still in college. How do we do this?
It's really all about the way that you keep your relationships with people. I mean, you can be an introvert, but of course, you will always meet people who are willing to help you in some way or another. If you're really shy, I know that there are also a lot of networks of mentors and industry professionals who are very much willing to mentor young women, young men in this certain field. So you can search it online or through LinkedIn and all of that. And also keeping good relationships with your bosses, even those who are not your direct bosses, I think is very important. What we do at MMDC is we foster a community of industry leaders, actually, who are there to help you and develop your career. So at MMDC, it's not just, your traditional professor who will lecture you and this and that, and then it ends na after class time is over. What we do is we expose our learners, our students, to academic coaches and mentors who have already experience in the field, and they're there to mentor you in not just your studies, but also in your career. So that's something that we have at MMDC. Everyone is paired with a mentor who is able to help them truly develop in their career.
And ngayon that I'm studying again, it's really such a fascinating experience to be able to sit down and learn from industry experts who you're learning from, like who you're studying under, right? And I think that's such a beautiful way to put it, where you create this network of professionals that are available for your students. Because at the end of the day, those are the same people that they will eventually get in touch with. They'll ask questions from, they'll ask for like, okay, can you connect me with this person? And then one day when you've already grown in your own career, you can return that favor.
It's a ripple effect.
Yeah, it's a ripple effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, to other students or other people who might need your help as well. So that's so important. One of the things that I've also been telling my friends and young people who don't know how to create these mentorship relationships or don't know how to ask anybody to mentor them is to just really step out of your comfort zone and to ask. Just ask. It doesn't even have to be hey, can you mentor me? It could be, is it okay if I tag along in one of your events, let's say? Or is it okay if can I take you out for coffee or something like that? And it's really building that relationship, as you've mentioned, that where it doesn't necessarily have to be a very serious setup, diba? I mean, of course, that's very valuable. But even just taking out coffee or asking like, hey, can I watch one of your events? Is it okay if I attend? Diba? So people have done that to me, and I've gladly welcomed those kinds of invites.
And it's flattering din, diba?
Yeah.
You're like, wow, you want to learn from me?
And most of the time, the people that we look up to, the people who are worthy of looking up to, these professionals and experts in the field, are always ready to teach, to help, and to impart knowledge. And that's what I've learned in the past 12 years that I've been working in this industry. Yung mga tao talagang successful, sila pa yung mas generous with the information and the knowledge that they want to give out to other people. Kasi meron silang abundance mindset of, I've been blessed with so much. I have done so many things that I'm very proud of. It's now my time to give back. And I'm sure people who are professionals in MMDC, who are, the teachers, the academic coaches, they're like that because they already have gone through the process of learning, building their own skill sets, diba? Yeah, I love that. Okay, so for now, we've got our fifth and final one, which is to build a side hustle or to freelance. Do you believe in freelancing?
Of course, I believe in freelancing.
All the
Everyone is
freelancers
like,
in the room are like, woot woot. Okay.
Actually, did you know that a lot of Gen Zs prefer multiple side hustles than one full-time
And all
full-time
of the
job?
Gen Zs in the room said amen.
Actually, I don't think it's bad to have freelance gigs or side hustles. Actually, we empower you to be able to do that if you want to boost your income nga. I mean, that's the topic today. Um and it could be a stepping stone to a full-time career as a freelancer, ha.
That's
It's not just
true.
something that's like nasa tabi lang. Like, it can be a full-time thing. So I do believe in looking for side hustles. You just need to be smart in looking for them. And you need to you need to have a competitive edge and network with people to
That's
get those
true.
freelance jobs. Like everything that we've said a
The
while
past
ago.
4 items.
Yeah, the past 4 items will help you really get your side hustles. At MMDC, as I said, most of our students are working students. And you'd be surprised how some of them are full-time students, but they still have part-time jobs because of the flexibility that we allow you to do it. And as well as they see their classmates being able to balance, all of their side hustles. And they're also uplifted and encouraged to do the same thing.
Yeah, and I just have to say, if you are single, I mean, obviously, even if you're married and you have children, but especially if you are single, if you are, if you don't have other responsibilities yet, ika nga, this is really the time for you to be busy in your career, to learn. And I go back to what you were talking about kanina, diba? You have the career leap pad for virtual assistants, for digital marketing, right? And all of these other things. Those are the things that you can do while you're still single, while you're studying, while you're even working 3-4 months that you're taking this credential. And then after that, you can have that side hustle already and the certification that goes with it. I think that's so important because multiple streams of income is really the secret to increasing your salary, to be able to save up, to be able to invest in your future talaga. And that's why freelancing and having all of these side hustles is so important. And as an aside, can I just tell you that this podcast, Adulting with Joyce Pring, is technically a side hustle that started 8 years ago.
And now it became
The main thing.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's a living testament to
what you were
that.
saying. So
Yeah.
when you were saying that, nga no, ako, this was the side, because I was on TV full time when I started the podcast. I was hosting every morning and every night. And I was like, I miss not seeing my face and talking to a microphone. I'm serious because I did radio for 4 years.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, what's a side thing that I can do that I love, that I think I'm good at, that could just be a passionate thing for me? And maybe it could be like a side hustle for me, if brands come in and things like that. And 8 years later, it's the number one thing that I do in my life.
Congratulations.
I'm not even on TV
That's
anymore.
so good.
Yeah, and I think it's a testament to what you were saying, which is to constantly have that curious mindset, to constantly be open to upskill and learn new things, to be humble enough to know that there is always room for improvement and that there are tools out there like MMDC that could help me reach my fullest potential. That really is the number one thing that you have to think about when you want to learn how to upskill, to learn new skills, to increase your salary, because it's that kind of mindset that makes you powerful. Diba? We can talk about the courses, we can talk about all the tips that we have talked about here on this episode. But if you don't first change that mindset, nothing will really be better.
Yeah, and of course you have to add value to yourself then, no? As we've been saying, the job market is so competitive. Everyone's looking for a side hustle. Everyone wants to work in this industry and that industry. So you need to keep yourself relevant, and you need to prove that you have the skills to really succeed in this modern workplace. And that's what we believe we equip our learners with at MMDC.
I love that. I love hearing your stories from all of these students, even working parents, different people from different walks of
Yeah,
life.
actually, our students range from those who are fresh from senior high school, so 18 years old. And we even have students who are in their 50s, saying that
Amazing.
it's really not too late to learn.
And I just have to give a shout out to all of those people, because for all of you Gen Zs and even the boomers who are watching right now, who are still out there pursuing your dreams, pursuing your goals, upskilling, learning new things. My team and I were talking about this person just before we started shooting. He's already 70 years old, but he started talking about he's learning about AI, he's learning about technology, because it's part of his work now that he wants to be able to talk about that to the people that he employs or to the people that employ him. And that just inspired me. Like, totoo nga, no? The learning never stops. And if we keep ourselves from the learning and we say, oh, I've arrived, this is it, I'm that person already, that really, at the end of the day, just stunts your growth. Because growth continuously happens only when you accept that there's always room for it, right?
Yeah, and I really want to say that don't be afraid to step up towards your dreams, towards getting that career that you want, towards getting that college diploma, towards getting that micro credential, because it'll really help you elevate and step up your life, your finances, and everything around you. I think just don't be afraid to step up, even if you're a working student or if you're a mom. There are always going to be opportunities for you to be able to step up towards your dreams.
Look at me now as a college student. Okay, Kirsten, I'm sure a lot of our viewers and listeners right now are curious where they can find MMDC, how they can be enrolled in your college or even in the micro credentials. Tell us more about it.
Yes, so actually you can go to our website, mmdc.mcl.edu.ph. Everything is there about our college degree and our micro-credential program called Career Leap. Also on our socials at Mapúa Malayan Digital, we're on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and we have a team of very friendly admissions advisors who are willing to help you as well. If you don't know where to start, if you don't know what course you want, or if you don't know if you should get your full degree or your micro credential, we will always be there to help you in every step of the way. So yeah, you can check us out online.
I love that. We'll put all of the details on the description box. And Kirsten, I just want to say thank you. I know we were talking about micro credentials, upskilling, and things like that, but more than that, I was so inspired by all of your stories, by all of your insights. Thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me and for having MMDC, Joyce.
Yay! All right. That's it for this episode of Adulting with Joyce Pring. We'll see you on the next one. Paalam.